Hello there, it's Magnus here, and in this video my good friend Griffin is gonna show you how to play some bluegrass chop chords for the song Big Sciota. And if you go to Mandolin Secrets Academy, you can find a chord chart, some play-along tracks, and some further instructions how to do this. And if you're new here at the YouTube channel, make sure you subscribe because we have new videos like this coming out every week. And also hit that bell notification button and you will get notified as soon as we publish a new video. Here we go.
Alright folks, now that we've learned the melody to Big Sciota, I'm going to teach you the chord changes now so that you can back up your friends when they are playing the melody to this great fiddle tune. So if you're looking at the PDF of the sheet music right now, you'll see that we have 4 different chord changes here. A G chord, a C chord, a D chord, and an E minor chord. Now, there are a couple different options that we could use for each of those chords depending on the style that we want to play this tune in. Where I come from, this tune is played by both old-time musicians and bluegrass musicians, and the mandolin player in each of those 2 different settings would treat this a little differently. So in an old-time kind of setting, the mandolin player would typically play chords that have lots of open strings. So our G chord like this, our C chord like this, D chord, and then E minor. But for the bluegrass version, which is what I'm going to be teaching you here today, we need to take a different approach because something very common to bluegrass mandolin playing is what we call the chop, right? So in order to achieve the chop on the mandolin, we have to play chords where all of our fingers are touching all of the strings. This allows us to dampen the strings and get that percussive chop sound that I'm talking about. This is what the chop would sound like to the A part of Big Sciota. A 1, 2, ready, go. So that's how we make it through the A part. And you'll notice that some of my strokes in there were a little uneven. Sometimes the full strings were ringing, right? But oftentimes I like to go for a tone where I'm only really striking the bottom 2 or 3 courses. And it sounds more like this, as opposed to, you hear that difference? The first example again, and second. So once again, try and emulate your favorite mandolin players. You can strum all the way through or just the bottom 2, depending on the type of tone that you want to get on this. Now let's go ahead and look at the chords for the B part. We've already covered G, C, and D, but we actually introduce a new chord in the B part to Big Sciota, and that's an E minor chord. I like to play around with this E minor chord. It's going to involve your middle finger on the 4th fret of the G, index finger barring on the 2nd fret of the D and the A string. So it's only 3 strings, and when you're chopping it, it's going to sound a little bit like this. Now, another option that many of you are probably familiar with is the E minor chord that's up here with your index finger on the 4th fret of the G. So it's index 4, middle finger on the 5th fret of the D, and then pinky on the 7th fret of the A string. You can see that they both have kind of a different characteristic, and either one is fair game for this tune. So just pick the one that you like the sound of. For the purposes of this demo, I'm going to stick with this E minor chord down here. So now let's go ahead and try the B part to this tune, and then after that I'm going to have the melody playing in the background with my chop going in the foreground so you can see what the chop sounds like when someone else is playing the tune. So the B part, oh, 1, 2, ready, go. Not too bad, right? So now let's go ahead and put all of it together with the melody playing in the background so we can see what the full tune sounds like with the chop. Alright, so that should give you a pretty good idea of how the chords fit into the tune Big Sciota using a bluegrass chop. Like I mentioned at the beginning of this video, it might be neat to experiment with those open chord shapes for more of an old-time kind of feel. But I'm going to leave that up to you for some experimentation on your own time. Alright, I hope you've enjoyed this one, and be sure to check out the rest of the lessons in this series so that you can learn the melody and the harmony part to the tune Big Sciota. Catch you next time, folks.
Thanks, Hayes. I think this is a very essential skill for any mandolin player, that we can do some basic chop chords for a fiddle tune like this. And if you want to simplify the learning, go to Mandolin Secrets Academy and you will find chord charts, some play-along track and some further instruction. And please leave a comment here and let us know, do you like using the chop chords like this, playing backup on your mandolin? And as always, if you like the video, hit the thumbs up and I hope to see you in a new video soon.